Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. So with Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World all but officially confirmed for a September 22 release, I decided to go over 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS characters that I am pretty confident will appear in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links mobile app. Now, if you're not aware, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links adds worlds every year, every other year, but all the data is pointing to a Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS release this September. I know we did get a data leak about a week ago of some character IDs that could be showing up as well. I'll go over that very quickly at the end of the video, although every single character ID is a character that I am naming for this list as well, so the lists do kind of cross up with each other. I'm going to start with most confident to least confident, and I'm going to go through 10 characters that I genuinely believe will be showing up in what very well could be the final added world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links run, at least separate anime. I hope you guys enjoy. Number 1, Playmaker. So this is a pretty obvious one. I don't think this is anything that I need to explain. Playmaker is the main character of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. I do think it'll be interesting to see how they're going to handle the difference between the versions, because you have Yusaku Fujiki and Playmaker. So maybe the character will be Yusaku and Playmaker will be like a skill, and his icon will turn into Playmaker when he uses a skill, although that doesn't really make sense because Playmaker is the one that's always dueling, so they probably won't do something like that. But again, I don't really need to get too deep into why I believe Playmaker is going to be in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. He will be leading the cast of characters when VRAINS World is added. Number 2, Owie Zaizen. Owie is a really interesting one because she had many versions. She had Blue Angel, she had Blue Maiden, and she had Blue Girl, which was the most short-lived of the three. I do believe that Blue Angel will probably be the first version that we get of her, and for that reason, I do think we might get variations down the road. We might get Blue Maiden as a separate character, and we might even get Blue Girl as a separate playable character as well. But I do believe Blue Angel, Owie Zaizen, is going to be there on release date whenever Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World comes, since she is the leading lady of the show. Number 3, Go Onizuka. So this might surprise a few people that I feel so confidently about Go showing up, and I think he's going to be one of the characters that will be there on release date. The reason for that is Go is a super important and relevant character, at least in the beginning of the show. He was the second character that was ever revealed when Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS was revealed to us way back in early 2017. I know his relevancy and his fan favor really fell out as the show kind of went on. He really turned sides and became a bad guy and a bounty hunter, but I do think that we are going to see Go very early on in VRAINS, as that was the original trio, and I feel like they do like to kind of look at where the show was in the very early stages as opposed to the later stages. Maybe that'll change with VRAINS, I'm not sure, but I do feel pretty good that Go Onizuka will be there on release. Number 4, Revolver. So Revolver will obviously be in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World. The only question is, will he be unlockable from the very get-go? I'm leaning towards no. I feel like with the rivals recently, Jack Atlas and Kite, those characters were not unlockable as soon as 5Ds and Zexal World dropped, and so I think Revolver will probably be the first unlockable character that you can get a few months after VRAINS World comes out, maybe around the holidays of 2022. Revolver will definitely be in the game, but I'm not that confident that he will be unlockable when the world first comes out. Number 5, Soulburner. Another character I feel super confident about, and it wouldn't really shock me if Soulburner is kind of labeled as the second most important character in VRAINS World. He really was the second most important character in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. I think he played the role that a lot of us thought Go was probably going to play when the show first got announced, you know, again, way back 5.5 years ago. Soulburner showed up at the beginning of Season 2, and I know with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, they don't necessarily like adding characters that debuted later on, right when the world comes out, but Soulburner was such an important character and such an integral part of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS that I have a hard time not seeing him being unlockable right at the get-go of VRAINS World. Soulburner is an interesting one. I feel very good about him being in the game at some point or another. Number 6, I do believe that I is going to get his standalone character. Now, this is kind of interesting because I, as a human, did not really appear until 103, 104 episodes into the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS anime, when the show was pretty much over. It only had 120 episodes. And so the question is, would they dig that deep into the story to make him a human and playable as a human that early in the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World release? I think it'll happen. I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I do feel because of how important, and even though he was a human later on, he was around from the very first episode, so I do believe that for those reasons, human I is going to be playable at some point during the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World run. Number 7, Emma/Ghost Girl. This is one where I don't feel as confident, and these last 4, I'm not nearly as confident as I am when it comes to the first 6, but I feel like Emma has a super popular deck in Altergeists. Maybe not super popular, but it was popular at one point, and I do believe that Emma is a pretty big fan favorite, and honestly, if you want to add a girl character after Owie, she's really your only option. I mean, the only other girl characters I can think of are the Water Ignis, Aqua, that's definitely a no, or Vyra, and that's definitely a no as well. So I just think for the reason that there's only going to be one other girl character in this world, and because she has a very liked deck in Altergeists, I do think that we are going to see Emma Besso at some point in VRAINS World. I think it might be months, if not years, before that happens, and again, I'm not as confident on her as I am the first 6 that I named, but I think Emma will be unlockable at some point. Number 8, Spectre. So Spectre is a really fascinating one as well. I feel like it's going to be hard to tell Revolver's story and show Revolver without showing Spectre. And for that reason, I do think that Spectre is going to be playable and unlockable. He is Revolver's right-hand man with the Knights of Hanoi. He has very close ties to Playmaker and Soulburner and the Ignis because of his relationship to the Lost Incident. And I feel like there's just a flurry and a myriad of reasons that make it very hard for the game to not include Spectre. Now, he's definitely going to be in like cutscenes and storylines, I believe, at some point, but I don't know if he'll ever be playable. I mean, that's the real question. Making 10 characters, again, the first 6, it's so easy. It definitely gets trickier, but I feel decently confident that we will be able to play as Spectre in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, hopefully not too long after VRAINS World comes out. Number 9, Akira Zaizen. Maybe this is wishful thinking. I loved Akira, the big brother to Owie, who is, of course, a shoo-in to be in the game, and one of the main figures of Soul Technology, one of the leaders of Soul Technology. And so, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is going to include Soul Tech in any sort of way or any sort of event, you would imagine that Akira might be involved. Maybe. I don't know. Again, it's kind of hard to fill in a top 10 here because VRAINS had a lot of really relevant characters, and then they had a lot of kind of relevant characters. They had a lot of strong side characters that you can make a case for. I think Akira is the perfect definition of that. Maybe this is more wishful thinking. I seriously do hope Akira is playable in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World. And number 10, Brave Max Naoki Shima. Listen, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links wants to have kind of a joke event where you unlock a joke character, very similarly to Scud in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions World, then I think Naoki is a shoo-in. I think he brings a comedic flavor to an otherwise very serious Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World. I know I does that as well. I can just see him being unlockable. He's a very early character. He's a very goofy character. I was going back and forth between him and Robapi, and I'm probably going to get flamed for not including Robapi on this list and instead picking Naoki. Again, once you get to this part of the list, these are the ones that I'm least confident about. I'm a little more confident that we will see Naoki over Robapi. I might eat those words. I hope we get both of them in the game at some point, but for the comedic aspects, and because Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links has done these clown characters before, I just can see Naoki being an unlockable character in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World in some sort of wacky event down the road. And guys, that wraps it up. 10 characters that I think are very likely to come to Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World. Now, the VRAINS character IDs that we got are pretty much all the ones that I named. What's interesting is Playmaker and I is linked as one character. So the first character we get might be a Playmaker and I combination, which is what we did see in the very early stages of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, and then based on 606 and 607, we might get individual characters for them down the road as well. But let me know what you guys think of my list. Let me know if there's any characters that you really think are shoo-ins for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS World that you're shocked that I did not include. I am really excited to hear all about that down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, and Jarrett Buller, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Latrell Smith, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu and Syn Cloud. To everyone who supports me on Patreon, and to everyone who is a YouTube channel member, thank you so much. The extra support means the world to me, and it allows me to make videos on a semi-daily basis, and I am forever indebted to you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. And definitely check out my channel membership feature and my Patreon for some extra channel perks. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out my channel for some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. And I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.